What did the word say? All right, I'm gonna give you a story. 2022 was the first CBN conference. Was that 22? 2022, the first CBN conference. 2021 is where I first started my cleaning business towards the end of 2021. And I came to the CBN conference and I got an award up here, right on the stage right here. And I told who was my fiance, no, she wasn't my fiance back then. She's my wife now. So that's why I say hi. So I told her, I said, I want to get to the point where I can get on the stage. And we made it, right? I didn't expect it. All right, so I want to tell you guys something real quick, and I want to say I appreciate you so much for taking the time to even just listen to me and hear what I have to share. I want to show you how important you are to me. Today is the 24th, tomorrow is the 25th. So right now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to call my mama. And I'm going to tell you why in a second when she answers the phone. She better answer it. Because this would not be good if she doesn't answer it. Come on. Come on, come on. There she is. She's coming on. Hello? Can you see me? What's up? Can you see me? Oh, you got that? Okay. I'm not going to show your face because you got that bonnet on your head. But I'm letting everybody know today is the 24th, tomorrow is the 25th, and my mother's 80th birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to my mother. Say a happy birthday. Yeah, we made it. All right, love you. Love you. He's right there. See, she's asking for AJ. She said, hey, AJ. All right, I gotta go. Love you. Love you. All right, bye. All right, there we go. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, so like I said, we made it. It's been a blessing just to walk in the path, the footsteps that AJ has given us, right? I would not be where I am today without AJ and what he provided for us. So let's give AJ a round of applause. All right, by a show of hands, who has seen any of my videos or posts in the group? So a few people know who I am. What am I kind of known for? Automations, really? Exactly. So it started with churches, right? And then it came to automations, and that's the AJ and automations course. So I'm going to talk about systems, right? We'll talk about systems and we'll talk about automating, right? So I think I gave it a name. It was like automate to elevate, like a catchy little thing, right? All right, by a show of hands, who has automations or, no, let's do this. Let's start at the beginning because you can't do automations without having a system to automate, right? So what's a system? Everybody has probably heard, right? When you start your business, you need to document and you need to make systems. But who actually tells you what a system is and how to do it? You made a video about that, didn't you? Yes, you did. But what a system is, what is a system? Is military people, any military people here, raise your hands. Prior military. All right, so prior military, so what do we always have to do? We had a checklist, right? Everything was a checklist. All a checklist is a system. So how to do something from point A to point the end, right? So from logging into email, from sending out invoices, to creating logos, to creating anything, you should be able to have a checklist of how to do each thing one step at a time, from logging in to finishing up. That's a system. That's all it is. So write down all your processes, write down all of your ways of doing things, and that is what a system is. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in the beginning, but it makes a whole lot of sense once you start to elevate and start to level up your business, because now the goal is not to do cleaning, right? We don't want to do cool, it's therapeutic and all that other stuff. But if you want to scale and level up, elevate your business, you have to get out of your business. You have to set your business up so that other people can take your place in reference to cleaning, in reference to posting on social media, in reference to contacting clients and scheduling walkthroughs and doing follow-ups and checking on proposals, doing cold calls. Right now, if you're in the beginning stages, you are doing all of that, right? But that's not how you elevate, right? It's the start, it's the beginning, it's the foundation, but you elevate by creating systems and then automating those systems so that you don't really have to be there, right? Because right now, I think yesterday I told you guys what was going on. Today, same thing. I have a VA starting today. I have 6 accounts going on today. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida, right? Not having to check in on anything because most of my stuff is automated, okay? So let's get to it. I think what I'm going to do, I had a plan of how I was going to do it in the beginning, but if you were here yesterday and you saw the panel, right? And we were talking about how do you talk to your spouse and kind of run ideas by them, right? And I said, usually I think I have really, really good ideas until I talk to my wife. So I had a really, really good idea, then I talked to my wife and I realized she had a better idea. Okay, so do me a favor, everybody take your phones out. Everybody take your phones out. Come on, let's go. Take a picture of the QR code and tell me what you see. Got it? All right, scroll down. And I'm going to show you later, but I want you to put it on your phone so you can see it, right? Okay. So this is a tool that I use, right? Because in the beginning, before I did systems and automation and all that other stuff, right? And you got it on your phone, so I don't really have to go to that stuff. That's me, right? But I'm gonna leave it right here. So in the beginning, I was writing everything down. It was taking a whole lot of time, right? And every time I would get a walkthrough or a call with somebody, I have to write everything down on pieces of paper. Then I got an iPad, and I was writing everything down, right? Took a whole lot of time. Then AJ created the automations course. And I learned how to automate a lot of stuff that I do right now. Okay, so this is something that I created in the CRM. It's just a landing page, a funnel per se, you know what I mean? And all these things on here, well, you can see that all the things that are on here are links. One thing that I created is an inspection form, but I'm not going to go into that. Well, what I want to do is show you how you can automate your business in order to make things flow a lot smoother. It's not as time consuming because you can put other people in positions to do the things that you normally do on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So one of the things I put into the group, I put a post or a poll about if you were able to talk about automation or you were able to question me about automation, what are some of the things that you would want to know, right? And the number one thing was how to onboard clients, right? A show of hands, who wants to know how to onboard clients automatically, right? Okay. What about how to onboard subcontractors? Good, good. And what about setting up your walkthrough appointments? All right. Okay, good, good. All right. By a show of hands. All right, I'm about to put you on the spot. How many people use a CRM, whether it's a CBN CRM or not? Raise your hand if you use a CRM. Wow. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, not good, but good. So the CRM is what helps me do all the things that I do, right? When it comes to onboarding clients, I have it set up in my CRM where, and these are all automations that we're creating, where the client signs their contract after the walkthrough is already done. I'm going to work from the back to the end. So the contract has been signed, right? When they sign that contract, what happens is a notification gets, the automation is triggered. I get notified that the contract has been signed. So I'm excited, my wife's excited, everybody's excited because we got a new contract. But it doesn't just end there, right? So normally, a lot of times, clients fall on the wayside because we don't follow up, we don't engage, we don't communicate, right? But by automating everything, it's automatically engaging with them. So it sends them a message, it sends them an email, a text message, or some type of notification. Let them know, hey, you received your signed contract. Now the next step of the process is what? So in mine, what happens is we send them a new client data sheet, which kind of gathers additional information that maybe you did not get when you did your walkthrough. Because when we're going through our walkthrough, when you went through your first walkthrough, how nervous were you, right? Nervous as hell. And you're writing fast and you're doing this and you're forgetting stuff and you're missing everything, right? So I created a client, onboarding client checklist, and I piggybacked off of something that AJ had created. In case you did not notice, I figured out a way to make my life easier by just recreating or improving or just customizing stuff that somebody else already created. Make it your own. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I just used a new client data sheet that he created. I changed it a little bit to make it specific to my business. So now what happens is when they sign that contract, they get a notification, I get a notification. Then they get that email saying, fill out this new client data sheet. Once that's filled out, we get another notification. Now we start assigning our teams and all this other stuff. And I'm going to show you what that looks like, right? Hopefully I got it in the right spot so I'm not flipping all over the place. And this may look, you may understand it, you may not. But the basics to creating your own automations, the foundation to creating your own automations is to have the system already set up. And I won't say already set up, but have a system. Because all the automation is a system that has been changed into an action, okay? So you create that system and then make it into an automation. So the trigger for this specific automation is a signed contract. Once that contract is signed, here is the email that the client is going to receive. And it's a simple email. It doesn't have to be super detailed or anything like that. It doesn't have to be super wordy. You can use ChatGPT to figure out how to word a lot of things, and it saves so much time. I use it all the time, right? So here's an example of what this looks like. It tells them we're excited to have you, that you are entrusting us to get your facility back to the condition that it deserves. We're always accessible. And for any of your needs, concerns, then tell them about the new client data sheet that they're going to fill out. And I'm going to actually, do I already have it up? I think I do not. Okay, no worries, let's go back and we'll do it this way. So here's a new client data sheet link. And I'm going to open it here for you. I think I do. So, and this is something, like I said, it's very simple, it's very basic. And it doesn't, oh, okay, it's loading. It's like my internet at the house, it's super, super slow. So what this does is it just keeps the client engaged. It keeps you engaged with the client and keeps the client engaged with you. So there's always something for them to do. Wow, this is slow. Okay. Anyway, right, so after that happens, now you know that there is something else that needs to occur. Because like I said, what I was doing before is I was writing all this stuff down and having to remember, okay, well, they just signed the contract. Now what do I do? I got to do this. I got to make sure I get my team to sign. Okay, now what do I do after this? Do I contact the client or do I work on this? And everything was all over the place. So I started doing it this way, and it allowed me to kind of relieve some mental stress when it comes to running the business. So they'll fill out this sheet right here. And it, like I said, it just gives basic information. And then it goes into more specific, like, okay, you know, paper products. Because when you do the walkthrough, sometimes they'll say, okay, well, will you provide the paper products, or are they going to provide the paper products? Sometimes you don't forget to ask that question, because that's another way that you can kind of add to your income stream by upcharging, by supplying them with supplies. And there's a way of doing that. That's a whole other story. But you have that option or that ability to do that. Special things like any special instructions, like if there's certain areas in the facility that you don't want them to go in, that you forgot to ask, they didn't remember to tell you. So this is just a backup for all of the walkthroughs that you did that you may have forgotten some specific information, okay? So that's all that looks like. After that happens, right? After that email is sent, and I'm gonna cancel this out so you can kind of see more things happen in the process, right? And this is where you can assign tasks to specific people in your staff to handle certain issues. Like with me, I use a software called Jobber. I'm not promoting it, just telling you what I use, because I haven't quite figured out how to make the CRM do it yet, but I will. Because I do a lot of research, I know I'm doing this stuff. But I use Jobber, I use QuickBooks, and I use Google Drive. So instead of me always having to remember, oh, I got to go to Jobber, sign them in a Jobber, oh, I got to sign them into QuickBooks so that they can get paid. I can put a file in Google Drive, right? All this other stuff. I just get a notification, hey, don't forget this. Hey, don't forget to do that. And that can be assigned to me, or I can assign it to one of my virtual assistants, which is listed down here, right? So it's as simple as that. So all these notifications go out from somebody signing a contract, right? So imagine how much time this can save you if you assign those tasks right there to somebody else. Does that make sense? It saves you a whole lot of time, okay? And then going down in the process, once that happens, and I have it set up where tags can be used to kind of move it along in the workflow, because what happens if you get into automation and you start doing this yourself, you have to understand how the workflow actually thinks. It starts and it's trying to get to the end. And if you don't give it things to do or things to kind of slow it down, it's going to go all the way through to the end. So you want to put in kind of speed bumps to slow it down so that one thing can happen, and then before it moves on, you can make sure that everything gets accomplished in the order that it's supposed to happen. All right, so moving forward, the next thing that happens after that's done, they've signed it, we've sent the links to our subcontractors to let them know, hey, this is a job that's getting ready to come on board. We need you to be ready to take on this account. Then we send them another letter, it's a welcome letter. And in that welcome letter, and this letter is similar to, if you remember the original proposal template that AJ has in the CRM. Originally, before we got the CRM, he had a regular proposal. We couldn't really make a whole lot of changes to it. All I did was take that cover page that kind of tells you about the company, welcome the new company to you, and I just changed it. I changed it to make it customized to me. So it just goes in and tells them about our company once again, letting them know, thank you for joining our team, and that we're going to be very meticulous in our cleaning, and that we're always available, stuff like that. I'm not really going to go into all that, but that's all it is. But that email is sent out automatically. I don't have to sit there and type it every time. Every client that I get, once they sign this, once they go into the automation, it gets sent out. Saves me time. And why did we all get into business to do what? Free time. But when you start business, what do you lose? Your time. So now the whole goal was to get time, but you started a business to lose your time. Now you got to try to get your time back. So how do you do it? Through automating your business. All right, so, and then it goes in, this goes on, and then once it goes in further, we also have it set up that after a certain period of time, I send them another email. And in this email, what it does is it's an opportunity to get feedback on how our team is doing, right? So it's an automatic request for a review or feedback on how everything is going. So you already know, right? It makes life so much easier. You don't have to remember, oh, I forgot to send them a review or a feedback request to see how everything is going. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. Am I boring anybody? Does anybody have any questions before I go on to the next workflow? Okay, I'm gonna go to Jim right. Do we have a microphone or do I have to go there? Okay.
Kevin with Inspired Actions and Services again.
All right.
So I'm brand new to this, but I really want to know when is a good time to start implementing the automation system.
If you can immediately, I wouldn't wait.
All right.
It's better because, and this is why I say this, because you'll get so fixated on the business and you'll go so far in your business that you'll realize, hey, I didn't document my stuff. I didn't set systems up. And it's so hard to go back and do it because you're pressed with the business of the business and you get distracted. So if you can do it in the beginning, and AJ puts it in his videos, document everything. Documenting is the same thing as creating your systems, right? Because you can go back and look at everything that you documented. All documenting is writing down what happens, how it happens, when it happens. Do it now. So as soon as you can, do it. All right?
One more question.
Yes, sir.
I'm not really tech savvy, so is it easy? So easy a caveman can do it? Or
It's so easy, I can do it, so yeah. Yes.
thank you, appreciate you.
You're welcome. All right, one more question before I move on. Anybody else? Oh, you had a question. Yes.
So one of my questions would be, well, first let me introduce myself. I'm Christian Gilbert from Aquaman Cleaning from Arkansas.
Yes.
My question was, how many hours would you give for a VA weekly and monthly?
Want to say that again? How many hours
Would you suggest to get?
Ooh, okay, so we'll talk about VA. Okay, real quick. So suggest probably anywhere from, for a week, probably 5 to 10 hours. And this is why I say that. And I'm not gonna talk about VAs, but this is why I say it. Because once you get them started, that time is gonna go super quick. If you break that down into, multiple days a week, then you got somebody working an hour and a half a week or something like that. But if it's like, say about 5 hours, I say more like 10, it's 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, right? So if you have their tasks and stuff ready for them, then you can actually get a lot accomplished. But you have to have, once again, systems in place for that to work, or you need to know how to train them. Quick. Yes.
And I'm just gonna chime in on that real quick. And it just depends on what you need them to do too. But yeah, it could be 40 hours. So you just gotta figure out that list of things that you want them to do. For me, my number one thing is just for cold calling. But if you're gonna use it for cold calling, that alone can be, that 40-hour work week. Because you just gotta figure out the tasks you want them doing, and then that'll kind of tell you how many hours you need.
Awesome.
So a couple different ways you can do it. First way is if you use upwork.com, it screenshots their computer the whole time. I don't use that no more, but that's what I started with. So you can use upwork.com for that. The other way that I track it is I set metrics. So number one, use a CRM. And in that CRM, we got a tab called the reporting tab. And so they got a minimum of 100 calls they got to make every single day. So by the end of the week, I should see 500 at least every single time. So I just go in there. The day, number one, is you send in the minimum amount of appointments every week, which I at least need 2 every week. That's the goal. If I ain't got at least 2 appointments coming in, it's like, okay, well, bam, there's you at least make the calls. So now we go to the reporting tab. And it's like, oh, at least they made it 500 calls. So cool, they can live this week, you know what I mean? And then the other way is Google Sheets. So they use a spreadsheet. If you don't got a CRM, use a spreadsheet. Google Sheets will tell you exactly what they did. So I'm not more so worried about if you actually working those hours. I just set hours. I don't do hours. I don't give you too much though. I got a program for that. But But if you look at the sheet though, that'll tell you too. Because again, you just set those goals for them. And if they ain't actually hitting those goals, then we know we got to get rid of them because they ain't delivering. Versus, did you work X amount of hours? I really don't care. I just wanted to talk.
So even if they don't set 2 appointments, I still want you to have made all my calls. So I don't know. I can see on your sheet what I earned, but how do I know you actually called them?
Again, so Google Sheets, it'll show you. And if you look at on the Google Sheet, they got an edit, last edit. So you just look and see if they actually made it. And then you can import a list. Again, all right. It's an automation program. Yeah, you go get that Clean Business University. But literally, if you get let's just say you get your list from Google, put the list of businesses in that spreadsheet. And then every single time they got to make those calls. So bam. So how many calls can they make in a 4 work day? If they didn't make those 100, let's just say you say 100 calls, If they made them, you tell them, all right, track on each one, tell me what they said. Then also, if you're not using a spreadsheet, then you're doing it the best way to do it, which would be with the CRM. The CRM also records automatically every single call that they make. So when I go back to the reporting tab, not only can I see the number of calls that they made, but I also can listen to every single one of them. So you ain't just dialing out and fake hanging up. Like, we can actually hear every single thing that happens. So that's how we do it. Yep. Clean Biz Automation Program, me and him host that together. Where we at? Stop it, my bad.
Yeah, stop it. Yeah, he was about to go on. So he knows it. One more? We're gonna have questions at the end. We're gonna have questions real quick. All right, so I want to move on real quick because I want to make sure I kind of hit everything that you guys actually said you wanted to hear about. So here's another workflow that's talking about, this one is specifically for subcontracted onboarding. All right, so how many people still do paper applications? Raise your, don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, go ahead, raise your hand. It's all good, it's all good. Okay, all right, so how many people, those that don't do paper, you do online, right? Is it on your website, your landing page, or you send them a link? How does that work? Okay, so you can do it going right on your website? Okay, so when they go to your website, they fill out the application, how do you know that they fill out the application? You get a notification, right? Then what do you do after notification? You have to follow up, so how do you follow up? Do you do it?
Sometimes I do it. I have my assistant.
You have your assistant, good job. You're ready to delegate, right? So in following up, are you said it's coming in for interviews?
She will.
Right,
So we do a pre-screening first.
okay,
So
good,
after they complete the application, she'll call, or maybe I'll call.
okay,
Do a screening question to see if they can go to round 2, which is interview.
okay.
Maybe Zoom. I don't want to be nobody on Facebook yet. And then ask them additional questions. If they can pass that, then we'll do an in-person at a job site. And have them ready, be prepared to work, because I want to see how you work.
That's what we do also, same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. So it's automated for the most part. And that's all she shared with you was a system. She shared with you her system. That system can be put into an automation and actually done for you. So the trigger for that system would be a vendor application. So if you're in automations, you have it already in your account, but you can create an application right in the CRM. And you create that application in the CRM. Mine, the way that it's designed specifically, I have certain telltale signs in my application to know whether a person is actually cleaning a subcontractor that has a business or a subcontractor that just wants to work for somebody else, right? And a lot of times you can kind of weed those out by putting in and this is what I do. I put in, do they have their own supplies, right? Because to me, if you are an actual cleaning business owner, you're automatically going to have supplies. If they say no, they don't have supplies, I know that they're probably not a legit cleaning business that wants to subcontract under me, right? So this is how I kind of weed certain people out. The other thing is, and this isn't across the board, but if they don't have insurance, then that's kind of a telltale sign, but not necessarily, because you don't always, that's a whole other story, but not necessarily, but it's just certain things that I put in my applications to kind of be able to pick out whether somebody is going to be more work or easier, because one's a cleaning business owner and one is just a subcontractor. And it is a different mindset you haven't learned yet, right? The people that want to work for you and not work for themselves, and the people that actually have a cleaning business and they want to build their cleaning business is a different mindset. So you have to understand when you bring them on board, you're going to have more work to do. So being able to pick that stuff up and automate it and have a system in place it will start to save you time. Because imagine if you had gotten that person that is just somebody that's working for you, and you realize you go through the process, you do the pre-screening and you do the having them work for you, because on the first day that they come to work for you, everybody's a great cleaner for the most part, right? Because they're doing their best. They're wiping walls, they're wiping, sprinkler systems, they're doing everything, right? Right? Day one, they're doing everything. They're good. They're absolutely amazing. They clean just like me. Then day 2, when you're not there, what happens? forth, right? When the boss is not around, so it's gonna take you more time, right? So if you start to automate things and have different systems in place, once again, an automation or a system is having somebody that can quality check, stuff like that. A lot of the things that I do when it comes to that is pictures before and after, right? Right, they check in to, they don't clock in, they check into a site, they check out of the site. Because it's not for me, it's for the client, because the software that I use gives a client notification when the job is complete, right? So they're not clocking in at all. They're just letting the client know when they're there, when they're leaving. And the picture are for me to know, hey, they did it. And also if something comes back, then I can say, yeah, well, my cleaner was there, here's the pictures. Now, pictures aren't always the greatest, but it does give you an idea, well, they were there, they did clean something. Now, how good they did, now you gotta go see for yourself, right? So it just gives you something to kind of help release some anxiety about, did they do it or did they not do it? Another automation, right? How many people actually have a virtual assistant in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something that, I'm gonna ask you a question and I'm gonna tell you why I did what I did. So at the end of the day, you give, well, at the beginning of the day, you give a task to complete, right? Correct? Nod your head, that's good. All right, so how do you know the task was complete? How do you know what they did throughout the day? Yes, ma'am. EOD, end of day? Yes.
So he submits that to me at the end of the day and I just review it to make sure he did everything. And then there's always like some extra stuff on there too that he ended up doing. So that way we can all stay in line with each other.
Are you in automations?
Yeah, but I don't use it like I should.
Okay, how did you know to do that? Trial and error, or who told you to do that?
Oh, probably being around all you guys. I didn't even-
That's why. Because this is what I did. I've had plenty of virtual assistants, right? And at the beginning of the day, I'll give them a task, yay, everything's good. And at the end, at probably around 4 or 5 o'clock when it's done, I'm like, okay, well, what did he do? Crap, I don't know what he did. Now I have to research to find out what he did, right? So now I'm wasting time trying to figure out, okay, did he do this? Did he complete this task? Did he complete that task? So what I did, I created a form, right? For the same thing she did. After every shift, my VAs or anybody that's in the admin role for me will fill out this form, which I created in the CRM. It's an automation that now I know these are the tasks that they completed. These are the tasks that they did not complete, right? And these are the things that they had issues with. So now that saved me 30 to 40 minutes trying to figure out what the hell happened the day before, right? That saves you an absolutely insane amount of time and stress and pissed offness, right? Because I'll be pissed if they didn't get something done and they didn't tell me, because now I got to figure out and find out for myself. So automating your business saves you time, which is what we wanted to do when we first started business, right? That's what it does. And that's what the CRM and automations can do. So in order to do that, once again, you need to have systems in place. Okay, so this is the part, like I said, this is the subcontractor. They'll fill out a form. What'll happen is it'll get assigned to a specific person in my staff, whether it be me or whether it be my virtual assistant. I have an admin virtual assistant, I have a social media virtual assistant. I have a cold caller virtual assistant, I have a few, right? And then after that happens, after they get the application, they get an email. Just like I said with the new client, the subcontractor also gets an email. Thank you for applying for the position. It sends them a link to schedule an interview with me, right? And there's some other steps and stuff in there, but I'm trying to keep it basic as possible. So it sends them a link to schedule an interview with me, and the scheduled interview is through Zoom, right? It saves me time to do it through Zoom. And the way that it's set up in the CRM is that no matter what time that they schedule, it's not going to conflict with any other accounts or any other appointments that I have, because it's synced. So it will never show you an appointment. Well, for the most part, I found out once it did that, but that's my fault. But it'll never show an appointment for them to schedule that you already have something else scheduled for. So you can never double book. Is that a game changer for a lot of people? Yes, it's a game changer. For somebody that lives off of their calendar, if it's not written down and it's not on my calendar, it did not and will not happen because I have forgotten. I've absolutely forgotten. So you have to have it in your calendar. And AJ has said that plenty of times before, but I don't know how many times people listen. I did, right? And I'm seasoned in age, so I have to write stuff down. Okay. So now, like I said, the workflow goes, and then it goes on to another workflow, which is we have the interview, right? So these are people that are sitting right here that are waiting to be interviewed. That means they haven't scheduled an interview with me yet, so that means they're sitting there waiting. Once we have their interview, now I have a choice to make. All right, is this person a yes, I want to hire them? A no, I don't want to hire them. Maybe I'll hire them, so that means I'll put them on the wait list, right? So once I decide which category they go in, I'll put a tag into their contact and it will take them to whichever tag that I indicated. So if I put them as a no, what's going to happen is they're going to get an email saying, thank you for applying at this time. We don't have a position for you, but we would like to keep your information on file, right? It's a nice, soft, it's not a negative email. But in essence, if you look down here, I get rid of them because they're already a no, I already know that, right? Right? All right. But they don't know that. They get the places, it's real nice. All right. So the other thing is, if it's a maybe, I want to say, well, they're not where they need to be. I'll put them in the maybe pile. And it's going to automatically put them on this. It's going to give them a nicer email, let them know that, hey, we would like to put you on a wait list. And when we have something available for you, then you'll get further information on that. But if they get a yes, exciting day for everyone, right? They'll get an email. Thank you for joining the team. In that email, it's going to tell them, hey, we're excited that you took the opportunity to apply for this position. We decided that we think you would be a great fit for our company. So we'd like to move you along in the onboarding process. It's real professional. It sounds good, right? So once it goes on, once they get that, then it starts giving notifications to me, to my admin, and to them, letting them know what to expect in the next stages of the process, right? Before, once again, what was I doing? I was writing all this down. I was trying to remember everything, one thing at a time. I would forget, oh, I gotta sit this, I gotta sit in that. But no, my workflow, this workflow right here, allows me to not have to think at all, right? I don't have to think at all because it's gonna tell me what to do. And when I have something in here, like for instance, this one specifically, it is broken down to a point where once you open it up, you get that task, it tells you what to do and how to do it. What is this right here? Hold on, let me see if I can make this a little bit larger. What does this look like? It's a system. It's a checklist of what to do. So if I'm not there and it's assigned to my VA, all they have to do, log into QuickBooks, payroll, go to contracts, add contractor, put the name. All they have to do is follow what I have up there, right? So there's no possible way, unless I did it wrong, that they're gonna mess it up. Does that make sense? Anybody? Does y'all like it? Does that work? Is it something you would be interested in learning how to do? I want to talk to AJ about the automations. All right. But I got something for you, I think. So just stay, let's see. We're almost done, I think. What time is it? Oh, okay. Okay, so that is the subcontractor. So like I said, it goes on. It tells me to send emails to them, or it tells my VA to send emails and let me know what's the next step in the process. So it just keeps going until it gets to the end. This was a little extensive, so I wouldn't overwhelm you with something like that. I would break it down into simple steps. Person fills out application, assign it to a specific person in your staff, send them an email, then let them know, hey, this is where you schedule your appointment for your interview. Stop it there, create another workflow, and it'll just move that way. If you make it long like this, there's so many opportunities for you to mess it up, and it can be overwhelming. So I've learned the hard way to make smaller workflows and just have it kind of go like a roller coaster up and down. One connects to the other, and the other connects to the other. So this is what if you want to do it yourself. But if you don't want to do it yourself, it's okay, you get the automations. All right. How many times am I allowed to plug automations? All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, so the next one is, let's do this. All right, so let's talk about the onboarding. You already have subcontractors, right? You have subcontractors, you have a list. I have a list of subcontracting vendors that I use whenever I have an account. I add them to my smart list in my CRM, and I would switch it, but it's moving pretty slow and I'm offline right now, so I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna break it down and tell you what it does. I send them a link to an account when it's available. In that link, maybe it'll show it, maybe it won't. It did. This is a link that goes out to all of my virtual assistants when the account becomes available. In this link, it shows them what the account is, where it is, the frequencies, the number of days it's clean, the times it is clean, the payout per month, because my subcontractors are paid a percentage of the account. So the price is always the same. That's how I do it. That's how I was taught by the GOAT, and that's what I do. I let them know what the payout is. So there's no confusion at all when they say they want the account. In addition to that, we also have specific information for each account, letting them know this is what's going to be entailed in the account, giving them the ability to decide if they want to be considered for it. Goes in, I add the scope of work. So it limits the amount of questions that I'm going to get back. Hey, and see. Hey, sorry, hey. It limits the amount of questions you get back, because when you get questions back, what happens? It takes away time from your day, having to answer questions that you've already told them or you've already shown them. So my goal in life is to save as much time as possible, because I have more time behind me than I do in front of me, and I need to value each and every second, right? And we all do need to value each and every second, so we need to save as much time. So that's what I do. I put the scope of work on there so they already know. And they also have more information on this. I have pictures to give them an idea of what to expect. So now they can continue to say, okay, ooh, this may be a good account for me. Let me try and see if I can get it. And then I have additional information. I also have my data sheet, my safety data sheets on here. And each one of these you can click on and actually see it. So they always have it available if they need it, right? That's just something I added. I don't know if it's really a good idea or not, but and good idea. Thank you. All right. And then it's supposed to be videos here, instructional videos. So it's instructional videos on the software that we use, cleaning practices, stuff like that are on these videos also. So that's what's on there. And this is something that's pretty good, but I don't use it. I will soon once I figure out how to make the CRM do what Java does. But that's a clock in and clock out system that I have on there. Not clock in, but check in and check out. And that is it when it comes to that. So now let's go back. We are towards the end of our discussion. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys to sleep. I only saw 2 people doze off, so that's good. All right. All right. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Oh, it disappeared. Here. So now, here, everybody got that QR code, right? You did, okay. All right, by show of hands, who is in automations? Okay, so this probably isn't gonna be good for you guys, because you already have it. All right, so if you scroll all the way down, let's go all the way down. This is what I want you to do. Is the DJ still here? No? No, that's just, I was just gonna use something he said, and something Combat Cleaning said, right, and some other people, right? How many people in here have social media? You have YouTube, you have all that stuff. All right. Have you gotten each other's and subscribed to each other's YouTube and all that other good stuff? Okay. All right. Everybody that got this, QR code down here at the bottom. Look at that. Anyway, so this is where you will have the ability to subscribe to any one of my YouTube channels, right? I kind of know a little bit. And a lot of times I'll share it there. I'll share it in the group, but I share it in my YouTube, right? And my Facebook. So subscribe, like, comment, share. Did I get it right? All right, at the bottom, we're almost done. I think I'm in time. At the bottom, if you click on this CRM waitlist button, I just created that while I was sitting down over there before I came up here. So if you click on this button, put your information in there. What I'm gonna do is The 3 workflows that I showed you, I'm going to create a more basic version of it so that it doesn't confuse you. And if you give me the authority to go into your account, because partnering with AJ, he's giving me the ability to kind of go into your accounts, kind of help fix up. I will put those 3 workflows in your CRM snapshot, okay? Good. And you have anything for me? Because I'm about to close it out.
You want to do questions?
Yeah,
That's some questions.
let's do questions. All right, so we're at 12:25. You have a minute and a half. No, I'm kidding. All right, who has questions?
I have a question.
Oh, gosh.
Don't act like that. One, high speed, it looks amazing, so proud.
Thank you.
Your landing pages that it was going to, when you have, the open contracts and the amazing detailed information, how are you keeping those private because they're landing pages? Do you just not give the access?
I just give classes.
Okay.
It only goes to the subcontractors that are in my list, right? So
Gotcha.
people that I've vetted. It doesn't just go out to anybody, right? You
Okay,
have to have a link to get to them.
okay, and then my other question is pros and cons for, so you do the first interview or the interview via Zoom. We do them in person, because I purposely schedule them in the butt crack in the morning to make sure they show up, how they show up, how they smell, how they look, everything above.
So,
Yeah. But, and then secondary is the working interview, like, but what is pros and cons doing them Zoom? Because a lot of times we hire elderly or non-tech savvy people, and I know you run into issues of, hey, I sent you the Zoom link. Now they're complaining, oh, I don't do all that, I don't know. Is that the way you screen them? Because if they can't do that, then they can't use your automations and systems?
I initially thought that, but then I give the option to do a Zoom or a phone call. So the older people that aren't really tech savvy or the people that just aren't tech savvy, they can call me because I use a CRM and it's self-reported.
Okay,
So that's why I do it that way. I prefer Zoom because it saves a lot of time. Yes, any other questions? Yes, sir, in the back, we didn't get to you, so yes, sir. Oh, I didn't see, okay.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I get I'll stand up. Hi, good morning. My name is Joanka from Tommy, Queens. And my question is in regards to the interview, what type of question are you asking to kind of know which person is better than the other? Because that's what I'm struggling with the question and picking the right person.
Okay, so depending on what the job is specifically, like if it's flooring or something like that, I will ask them a flooring question, right? I'll ask them a chemical question. I'll ask them a dwell time question, all right? Now, I have to be careful because I'm not an expert in certain things, so I can't ask them a whole lot of stuff when it comes to flooring, but I know, I know a little bit, I know enough to do damage, right? So I can tell, I really can tell. So it's just all of the questions that you ask them and how you ask them. I don't usually get to, well, how was your last job, or why did you leave your last job? I do ask them those questions, but those don't really help me determine how they are as a cleaner. That was a situation that happened. So I usually, just ask them specific questions to whatever they account that I'm trying to bring them on for. Hopefully that answers your question. Uh-huh. Yes, there are, yep. Yes.
Dan with Clean Mosh. I think I missed the part with your automation where you were just saying, the approvals for the VAs, or are you making sure before it goes to the next step, are you doing the approvals, or?
You said for VAs?
I said the VA or you, who's for, the sequence? Who's making the approval? Are you going through? Is it notifying you and then you're making approval? Or is it going to a VA and they're making approval to the next?
No, I do the approval unless I assign it to my VA to do it. And I can assign it to both, that I get it and they get it. And I delegate whether they're actually approving them or not. Normally I do it because I know more so what I'm looking for and not the VA. So they don't always do it. I just, it's case by case basis.
So if you never get to it, let's say you get busy with other stuff and you don't do it, it's just gonna say that same queue, that same setting right there, or is it automatically?
It will unless you set it up where you can put a time limit on how long it sits there. And then you can actually give yourself a reminder. If you don't, yeah, so you can set up where you give yourself reminders on it.
And then with your, if, let's say the VA had to make approval, and if the VA has to make approval for something, does it notify you they haven't made the approval, so therefore it continues to the next step?
It doesn't automatically continue to the next step until we give it approval to move. Because that's why we put the wait statement in there, letting us know that, hey, something needs to happen before it can move on in the process. Because remember, I told you in the beginning, when you have the automation set up, its goal is to start and get to the end as quickly as possible, unless you stop it. And we stop it by putting wait statements or pause statements in there. And in those pause statements, they can be set by time, right? By a certain amount of time you give it, say after 5 days, then it's allowed to move, or you can get rid of it, or by something actually being accomplished. Like if you send them an email, they have to open the email before it can move on to the next step. Or it's another one that I'm kind of careful to think of right now, but it's like 3 different things that allows it to move to the next step. So like I said, it wants to go to the end. You stop it with wait statements until conditions are met for it to move on.
Understood, but if the condition, let's say, once again, for the VA, if the VA's is sitting at that particular VA's spot, does it notify you now as the person, as the?
Yeah, you can get notified. You get notified of everything that goes through.
I got you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maggie with To Be Announced Cleaning Services. All right, Andrew, you mentioned about SOPs or the systems, and I guess this is more for you as well, AJ. Is there any, and I heard university, is there a school or something that we can sign up with to learn about the business from inception to?
To learn about the business, how you mean in reference to cleaning business?
The cleaning business,
Turn around.
meaning from, yes, so yeah, that's what I said, I think it should be on you, AJ. And so is there there is an academy? Okay, forgive me if I should have known that a bit,
She's
so,
like branded.
okay.
Great question.
Yes.
So a couple things. So first off, I remember I was talking to Kira, and we were talking about and so be clear, the automation program that me and partner on, it is not a cheap program. They get out of the way, and you can see why. There's a lot of stuff in there, and a lot of those workflows that he was showing you, he built those already for y'all. So when you get in there, you don't gotta figure out, how to do all the shit that he did. He already did it. We just automatically plug those systems into your account and show you how to use it. So that's what that program is. However, if you don't need all of that yet, or you just want to get started, you can join the basic CleanBiznetwork membership. It's $99 a month. It'll have the software, but it won't have all of those automations. And you know what I mean? So just come in where you can come in when you're ready to come in and do it at your pace. But I need to make sure that I'm clear. Get that in there for you. Go, no, and then so actually not bad. And I got a starter course too. And so if you get started, you can start with that because that's going to tell you every single thing from beginning to end. Then the automation course that comes with the automation program will have the more advanced stuff. But if you get the automation program, it keeps stuff with it.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. So with the booking system, so for residential, we have an online booking form or whatever already, but I see yours is more tailored to the commercial side. So would I need 2 separate systems, if that makes sense? So if I have a commercial client, would they have to go to like a different landing page, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would I incorporate that with the booking form on the same website for different residential and commercial?
To me, I think that all a booking page is a calendar, right? It's just a calendar. So depending on how you have it set up, you can have a calendar for your residential, you can have a calendar for your commercial, or you can have them intertwined. It just really depends on how your business is set up. I don't use that a lot, but it's really all it is a calendar. So you can put a scheduling calendar the same way people schedule, meetings with AJ or schedule with me or whoever else does mentor, Ms. Denton and all that other stuff, it's the same concept. You just schedule it on a calendar. And those calendars give you notifications for whatever it is that's being scheduled, right? In addition to that, you can have it set up so that it gives the client, whoever scheduled the appointment, a notification saying, thank you for scheduling your appointment. We have you on our books or whatever. You can have it worded any way that you want to, but you can absolutely do that within your calendars. And AJ, you want to add to that?
Yep, piggyback on that,
Yeah.
and so with that said, our CRM does include you the ability to create any amount of calendars, unlimited websites, unlimited forms, all of that, so just create your residential walkthrough calendar, your residential cleaning calendar, your commercial walk, like whatever, however many you need.
Well, I'm saying booking form because like how, okay, so if they have 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, I can see the square feet, that's what I mean by form. So I get all the information. You know what I'm saying? So that's how yours was set up on your commercial. So I could see how many days a week they want.
Yeah.
How much they paid their previous cleaners. That's what I mean by form.
Absolutely.
So do I need your CRM and the other booking?
What, Jabber or what I was talking about earlier?
No, your whole system that you have.
My whole system is the CBN CRM.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So do I need that implemented in my site or the commercial side? Because I want them to be able to click on it and say, hey, fill out all that information. This is our square feet. This is how many times we need you guys out a week, whatever.
Okay.
So I'm saying, do I need your system for that and the system that I'm currently using for my other residential software? Am I making sense? Yeah.
And now, that's what I was saying.
Scared.
There's different. So in a nutshell, what you're asking is basically, can you replicate a form in their system, right? So within the system, they have different forms. You can use different templates to customize it to what you're looking for. With the 1 bedroom fields to whatever that looks like.
Okay, so I can use one system for residential.
Yeah.
And still be able to collect the information and use the same. CRM.
Because all of this is really a format. So you're on a different platform, they're using a format and you're duplicating that into the CRM. And you get notified.
But another thing, so the current system that I'm using, they have things like where they'll do email marketing, like, so systems are offering different services. So I want all of that,
You can do that in the CRM.
Okay. So
That's
you
just not
already
something I was talking about.
CRM, so I can just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do all of that. But if
And you convert to that.
yeah, the amount of stuff that the CRM could do, I was only asked to do systems. But if you wanted to talk about all the stuff that it does do, we wouldn't get hired till next week.
Right, okay.
See what I'm saying? But it does. a
We know
whole
what
lot of
it is.
stuff. Yes.
Just trying to make sure I can, get all my features under one CRM.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Denton or somebody else.
Yeah.
Real quick, can you explain what is, because it literally can do damn near everything, but except something, what are you using Java for that we can't quite figure out?
So the only thing I'm using, this is just personal preference. I like the way the calendar is set up, because the calendar in the CRM isn't that aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. So I can see, it blocks everything off in colors and all this other stuff. And I just don't know how to do it in the CRM yet. That's the only reason. I'm still using it. And I think the other thing is for GPS, knowing that they're at a location specifically. That's why I use it. If I can figure out how to, I don't know, but when I figure out how to do it, I'll get rid of Java because I pay way too much for it. Way too much.
So my question is, that form that you send into your client, the data that you're asking them for is what you should be getting on the walkthrough. So
In theory, yes.
So are you gonna, because this is my perception. If that's the data you need to even get the numbers, shouldn't be asking the client that again, asking some other questions. It kind of makes you look unprofessional because you're saying, how many times a service? Now, I'm gonna ask you that at the walkthrough. You know, how many days a week? I'm gonna ask you that at the walkthrough. You know, like those questions I asked at the walkthrough. So it's like, print it out for a walkthrough sheet, so you don't miss the data. I mean,
Can I follow that up real
I'm
quick?
just trying to figure out, do it irritate the client that you went to the walkthrough and then you come back and you ask them all the walkthrough questions?
So two things. So the first thing, when I first started that statement about that, I said, how many people, when they went to their first walkthrough, were forgetting? So that's why I did that.
So my
Right.
point is, that's a perfect walkthrough sheet. So that you don't forget to collect the data, because if you forget to collect the data, you can't get your number with nobody's program.
And also, AJ has a walkthrough template on the CBN app, right? Where you can actually use that app and go through your walkthrough. I'm to the point now that I don't need it, so I don't have to go through and do it. But for people that are still forgetting stuff and not remembering the information that you need to create a proposal or a bid, right? That walkthrough template checklist is absolutely perfect, especially it's absolutely perfect. I just don't use it anymore because I've done quite a few walkthroughs. But yes, you have those things you have those things for you, available for you in the CRM, the CBN CRM. Somebody else had a question. Yes. Oh, boy.
No, just two parts. I wanted to tap in what Ms. Karen was saying. One thing that we do, just sharing experiences, is we do 2 walkthroughs. So, you know, we do the first one when we're, you know, that initial walkthrough, when we're gathering the information to present the proposal. And then we do another walkthrough at the end. That's like the logistics walkthrough. This is after we close the account.
Yep.
So, you know, we're essentially doing the same exact thing that your sheet is doing. Yours is just in the email.
You don't have to do it.
You know, because just, you know, my opinion on it is that before we walk into the door, we want to be 100% sure. And if the client is going to be irritated because I asked them some questions again about like how they're about to spend their money, then, you know, that's kind of a precursor to how that relationship is possible to go. But my question that I had for you was, just with the direction a lot of things are going, a lot more people are trying to automate their businesses more. You know, I feel like you've really done a great job pushing that effort here in our industry. So kudos to you for that. You know, we don't want to get left behind. So with AI being such a strong push, what ways are you using, or have you been playing with that you haven't released to anybody yet? To start saving some money and dropping some of these deals. Like, you know, we don't need them all if we can completely automate that. And with the things that AI is doing right now, you know, from writing your social media content to posting it, to engaging for you, to doing all those things that we're hiring VAs to do right now. Like, what ways have you either started or do you foresee that being integrated into the CBN CRM?
That's a very good question. And it was a good question.
I'm here if you need me.
Yeah, please. I'll throw my hat up in a second. But I use AI. I actually use AI for everything, right? And that's another automation. It's a form of automation that's saving you a lot of time. If you don't use it and you haven't used it, you're already behind the power curve. It's taking over everything. You go to a drive-through and it's an AI talking to you. I was trying to order something. It was an automated machine and it was responding to whatever it was I was saying. It's taken over. If you don't know anything about AI, you might want to start learning about it. Yes, the VAs, that's what they do. A lot of them, that's how they, you know, nowadays they will use AI, but you can't fault them for it. Everybody is moving towards that. And I would recommend it. Do it. Why try to Why try to reinvent the wheel? If you can use AI to at least give you a starting point, and now you can build off of that, why not use your resources? So we're not, yeah.
So real quick for those.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people in here that AI is just two letters, but that's Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? They don't really.
What is it?
They're like, where do I get started? Like, I know, you know what I'm saying, ChatGPT, all this other kind of stuff, but what would you say for the people that don't know, like, what is a good starting point for AI?
He's a master at it.
So I'm gonna get on that. So first off, has anybody in this room heard of Go High Level? Raise your hand, please. Go High Level. Okay, so Go High Level is a CRM. CBN has a CRM that's white label. It's Go High Level. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next thing is this, and the reason why I did that is because CBN was just a coaching network, right? But I realized, well, damn, you're gonna need some software, and when you get software, guess what? All this stuff is monthly recurring fees. So I'm like, damn, I'm charging you monthly to get the coaching, then you paying monthly to get the software, then you pay. So I was like, you know what? If I just white label it on top of Go High Level, then now you get the coaching, the software, all that, all in one thing, and you ain't gotta pay all these damn subscriptions, right? So there's that. That's number one. Number two, because I did it on top of Go High Level, they have what's called AI agents. Okay, so I actually did a live training, maybe 2 months ago, for all the automation members. Where Ignition was on, I can't remember what was on that again. So in that live training, I showed you exactly how to get on there. It's not as hard at all. The hardest thing is taking the time to actually put the prompt into the AI, tell it what you want to do. So for example, you got to educate your AI on, okay, this is what our company does, that's what we stand for. If they ask you this, and you say that. If they ask you that, you say that. As a matter of fact, we have, I'm using AI right now for bidding. We got an 800 number that you can call if you're in an automation program. You call this number and you say, hey, I'm trying to figure out the price on this job. It's called the CBA chatbot, no matter what. And so, but you call that, and then you just tell them exactly what square foot is. If you don't know the square foot, it'll ask you different questions so we can still figure out that answer. So we already implementing it now. And so if you're in an automation program, I can show you better than I can tell you, but all that's even including the CRM as well.
Well, let me tell y'all something else about AI. My last client, you know how you go on the walkthrough and you ask people how they found you? He said he found me on ChatGPT. He asked who were the top 3 cleaning businesses in Pittsburgh, and I was part of the top 3. Come on, somebody.
Oh, gee.
AJ, you got a question. It says, AJ, can you share the QR code for the 3 system upgrade from Andrew?
Oh, I got you.
And they can't hear the questions that well over here.
On this one.
Put it in, after you put it back up here, if you could read it and you can put the chat over here. That is training y'all.
Okay, we'll do. So if you go to this QR code here, okay.
Which is our pro cleaners is on the screen then.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful,
My
I'll
name
say.
is Ariana Lizano and I'm from the Hamptons, New York. My cleaning company goes Hamptons Cleaning. And I have a question for you. For example, if I have to go and give a free estimate to a client. So, you know, sometimes people want, you know, to give you the estimate to know how many hours, of course, it's gonna take. But, you know, I usually go, you know, and walk through and see how, you know, is the house or the apartment, you know, to see, you know, have an idea. But sometimes, for example, I have the other day, a customer that, you know, I get through and I give an estimate, but it took me a little bit more of the time. Even though they pay me for the time that passed because, you know, for the great job I did. But I wanna like have an idea how, you know, we can do to, you know, give, you know, those rates the right way. I don't know, just.
Turn around. Yeah.
Production rate. Did you need production rate? So you gotta figure out what a production rate is, simply how many square feet you can clean per hour. So start measuring that, tracking it. So if you know you got 2,000 square foot home you cleaning or 2,000 square foot building you cleaning, next time you go, just time yourself. And then once you're done, let's just say you finish that in 1 hour, you know that your production rate for cleaning this type of facility or home is 2,000. So the amount of square feet you can clean per hour, once you know that, then you can easily take that and divide that by number of square feet. That'll give you the time in hours expressed, and then multiply that by your hourly rate. But you don't have to know all of that. You can use the CBN calculator if you're a CBN as well. Good enough? Good. All right, good. What we got? Yep.
Just to piggyback off of that, with residential, it's very different. You have to design your structure around what your business does when it comes to time management. Commercial is really simple and it's really similar, but residential, you kind of make it, you know, like you might clean the ovens every time and stuff. So you really have to measure your specific company's time. Because I've seen it vary like drastically. Some people can do like 700 square feet and some people are like higher, like 1,200 to 1,500 square feet. So it really depends on that. So definitely track. Thank you so much.
Got one more? All right, E.
Hello, my name is Robert. I'm from Jersey. Just a question about automation. What do you do for like billing and like when you're collecting payment from commercial clients and all that? How's that automation work for you?
I don't use it for that, but you can, right? You can integrate it with Stripe, with Stripe, and you can actually send invoices off through the CRM. You can also schedule them as recurring invoices through the CRM also, right? So you can actually, that is the automation by scheduling it as a recurring invoice, and you don't have to really think about it. You like set it and forget it. And that's how you do it.
And just one more question for like quality control, like how often do you use automation to like to make sure your clients are happy, sending them surveys? Do you do any automation as far as that?
Yes, I have automations for reminding me to do my site inspections, right? So when I do site inspections, and like I said, I have it here that I use that for me, where I schedule or actually do on-site inspections. I fill out those forms, and once I fill out the form, that site inspection goes to me and it goes to the cleaner that was responsible for that account. And I can actually have pictures and stuff on there so they can see whether it's a pass or a fail, something they need to kind of work on, right? After I do that, I have also something in automation that after a period of time, it sends out a feedback form to see how we're doing, right? So there's always opportunities to kind of check on the location if you don't get to go there all the time. Someone in the room yesterday gave the idea of QR codes throughout the facility. I've done that before. Those are good ideas also that you can place in different locations, right? And those QR codes can be created in the CRM. And those QR codes go to a form that you create, feedback, any issues or whatever. When those forms get submitted, you can have it set up to come to you, to your admin, to your VA to kind of review those to see if there are any issues you need to address at the site. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank
Awesome. Thank you.
Automation program. So if you would like more information or if you want to join the automation program, you can go to cleanbiznetwork.com. That's going to be the very first one at the top. 15% off on that as well. Thank you. Discount code is, what is it? I texted it to y'all, but yeah, I think it's 2025 conference is the discount code.
Y'all give it up for Mr. Andrew Lewis.
We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. Hey.
you working for Walmart, so now they just go at their head on.
All right, so y'all wanna take a break in between?
Well, I guess they're organically doing it. All right, y'all, we're taking a 15-minute break. Now look at me before you move. How many minutes I said? All right.
14 minutes.
14 minutes before. Make sure you're doing the stretches that Lovely showed us today. You need to get some stretch on because you've been sitting down. Make sure you do that. Angel, do me a favor, mute that mic for me. Don't forget, keep posting on social media, keep your algorithm going. Let the people know what's going on. A lot of great information from all these amazing speakers today.